This is purgatory. Every day you take a bullet. Maybe not at the same time. It's like to wake up. It's like I have to pick my guts off the floor, stick them in, and say, "It's okay, Mary Chris. Just keep going."
Mary Chris Rodriguez used to have 3 sons. More than a year ago, she lost her oldest, Vicente, in a disturbing workplace accident on the Las Vegas Strip. Vicente Rodriguez was a UNLV student who worked on the side as a stagehand. He died 5 days after his 20th birthday on the evening of May 20th, 2009, in the Hollywood Theater at the MGM Grand Hotel. Vicente's employer, a staging company called Rhino Las Vegas, had assigned him to work as a ground rigger, packing up equipment at ground level for the Tom Jones show. But inexplicably, when Vicente got to work, supervisors told him to do high rigging instead, which means climbing up into the theater's rafters to disconnect and remove equipment. So Vicente followed a supervisor almost 40 feet up to a dusty space with catwalks and suspended planking high over the showroom floor. But the young man had minimal training for high rigging and 0 prior experience. He was attempting to clip in to a so-called lifeline when he slipped and fell to his death. Mary Chris Rodriguez, Vicente's mother, comes from a family of circus performers and high riggers. There are many things she still can't understand about the accident. Why did supervisors order her son, a novice, to go up high? Why did the man who accompanied Vicente up turn his back after giving the novice instructions on clipping to the lifeline? Why can't she and her relatives confront the parties who set up the circumstances that led to this death?
You know, I keep saying, where's Jimmy Hoffa and what happened to my son? Remains a mystery. Because when you only have one eyewitness, and that person is alive, and person number 2 is dead, how much can you really rely on the fact?
No police ever went to the showroom when Vicente fell, so the Rodriguez family has relied on Nevada OSHA, which investigates workplace accidents, to explain what happened. OSHA found numerous hazards at the theater. There were problems with the catwalks and planking that high riggers use. There were problems with how the MGM, Grand, and Rhino enforced safety among the riggers. One example from OSHA records. When Vicente went up high on the catwalk, the nearest overhead lifeline was out of reach, so the young man tried to balance on the catwalk's top rail to reach it. But in a critical lapse, which the supervisor did not notice, Vicente did not clip in somewhere else first before he attempted to balance. Vicente toppled off the rail, through a false ceiling, down to the showroom floor. Co-workers worked on him until paramedics took over. At the hospital, he was pronounced dead. In the theater, OSHA first identified 7 serious safety violations by the MGM Grand and 8 by Rhino. The 2 parties exercised their legal right to fight violations they felt did not apply. In the end, OSHA dropped several violations, which significantly reduced the penalties. Rhino paid $4,000 in fines. The hotel paid $19,800. Steve Cofield, who heads Nevada OSHA, told the Review-Journal his agency was hampered in this case, as the regulations to prevent falls in a theater are looser than the regulations for construction. Cofield also said his investigators found no evidence of willful neglect or recklessness by the MGM Grand or Rhino. But Vicente's mother, Mary Chris Rodriguez, thinks Nevada OSHA's investigation was inadequate. As a result of her concerns, federal OSHA is now reviewing what the state agency did.
2 people went up. One of them is dead, and I can't talk to this guy. He was the last person to see my son alive and coherent. And I'm not saying be just him and I in a room with other people and questioning, and I don't understand.
Why is it that you cannot speak to this employee? What authority is directing you?
The law. The law that is so perversely perfect for the employer's side. The law that, if I had that law on my side, I'd be insolent too.
The Rodriguez family has never received a direct condolence note or flowers from either the MGM Grand or Rhino Las Vegas. The hotel did extend sympathy in 2 public statements it gave to newspaper reporters about the accident. Rhino did the same. In a letter its attorney wrote to the attorney who briefly represented the Rodriguezes after the accident. The lack of personal contact with these principal players leaves an emptiness in Mary Chris Rodriguez. They paid less than $25,000 in OSHA fines for hazards that killed her son. She feels that true justice will occur only when the players suffer a considerable consequence. But state law prevents her from suing MGM and Rhino for wrongful death. That's why 2 Nevada lawyers have already looked at the Rodriguez case and dropped it. The reason? Nevada, like many other states, has structured its workers' compensation program in such a way that employers who belong to the program cannot be sued by an injured worker or by a deceased worker's family, not even if gross negligence leading to that workplace death can be demonstrated.
There is no closure. It wasn't like Vicente had a debilitating disease. And again, I state, it's not like I sent him, to fight the war. This should have never happened.